Hello, everyone, and good evening. Thank you all for joining us virtually tonight. I'm so excited to be back again this year for Jesse Tree's second annual Housed for the Holidays event. I'm Karen Lair with KIVI Idaho News 6, and I'll be your host for this evening. And we're going to start things off tonight with a few words from Boise Mayor Lauren McLean.
Hi there. I'm Boise Mayor Lauren McLean, and I'd like to welcome you to the second annual Housed for the Holidays. This is a great night where we celebrate the incredible work that Jesse Tree does in our community to prevent eviction and homelessness. We all know that growth is putting a lot of strain on working families. Housing's getting more expensive, and the cost of living continues to go up. There's not much room for error. For too many people, just a couple extra bills can mean the difference between paying rent and being evicted. But it's my mission to make sure there's a home for everyone in this city. Jesse Tree is a great partner in this effort throughout the Treasure Valley as they keep families from falling through the cracks. They've prevented 700 evictions this year already. You can help raise that number even higher tonight, because tonight's an opportunity for all of us to lend a hand to Jesse Tree with a simple donation that will go a long way towards keeping families housed. So I invite you to enjoy the music, enjoy the speakers, enjoy the event, and give to a great cause to help our neighbors and our community. Thank you. And again, welcome to Housed for the Holidays.
Well, thank you, Mayor McLean. I'd like to echo that sentiment. I hope you are all surrounded by friends and family tonight and enjoying some popcorn and cocktails from tonight's sponsor, Water Bear Bar. And we do also encourage you to interact with us tonight throughout the event by chatting in and chiming with the live chat feature. And now we're going to kick back, relax, and enjoy a few minutes of music from award-winning guitarist Ned Evans.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Housed for the Holidays event brought to you by Jesse Tree. My name is Ned Evans. I play a glass guitar. I'm going to do a couple of Christmas songs for you. One is called Broken Christmas Eve that I wrote. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Housed for the Holidays event brought to you by Jesse Tree. My name is Ned Evans. I play a glass guitar. I'm going to do a couple of Christmas songs for you. One is called Broken Christmas Eve that I wrote.
It's time. Good evening, and thank you for joining us, everyone. I'm Ali Robbie, the Executive Director at Jesse Tree, and tonight we're kicking off our Avenues for Hope fundraising campaign through this event. We really had an incredible year at Jesse Tree, thanks to all of your support, and I'm looking forward to talking more about that in a moment. But as you can see, we're enjoying tonight's event from the beautiful downtown Boise Columbia Bank Neighbor Hub space. Columbia Bank donated $25,000 to Jesse Tree this year and has graciously allowed us to use this space for tonight's event as well. So thank you, Columbia Bank, for your continued support. We hope this event tonight inspires you to continue to support us as we anticipate the need for our services will continue to grow next year in line with the housing crisis. Our goal over the next few weeks until December 31st, as this campaign runs, is to raise $75,000, which will house 50 families in the Treasure Valley and keep those families housed in the years to come. Tonight, we are also hosting a silent auction on our website. The link is at the bottom of the screen here, jessetreeidaho.org/auction. There's some really fun items or gifts for others that you can bid on, and hope you'll do that throughout the night. So before we continue my presentation, I want to show you a video of another one of our donors this year, Select Health, which was made to educate the community about the resources and work that we are offering.
Sometimes when people think of someone who's homeless, they think of someone who's addicted to drugs or who's crazy or lazy, doesn't want to work. A lot of people become homeless for the first time simply because they can't pay their rent. Jesse Tree provides support, information, and financial assistance to low-income tenants in the Treasure Valley who are at risk of eviction and homelessness. Boise is growing at an unprecedented pace, as is the cost of rent and the cost of living. We're seeing more and more people living on the line. Most of them are living paycheck to paycheck, month to month. They don't have substantial savings or resourced family that they can fall back on if something comes up. Anything can lead people to a place where they can't pay their rent. We have a case management model, so everybody who walks through our door is assigned a case manager that provides them with supportive services through the eviction process. They're providing mental health support, they're talking them through the situation, they're offering a bridge between the tenant and the landlord, just walking them through and giving them peace of mind through this really stressful process. You know, the housing crisis, it can feel overwhelming, but we take peace of mind in knowing that we're helping one family at a time. People that maybe would be living in our shelter, the streets, or their cars if we weren't here for them. When we're keeping someone in their home, we're also enabling them to be safe and healthy and happy. And the solution is so simple. All we have to do is provide somebody with support and money at a point when they really need it. We can actually end homelessness by preventing so many people from falling through the cracks during a point in their lives where they can't pay their rent. A human right, and we shouldn't allow anyone to lose their home.
Well, thank you, Select Health, again, for making that video for us. I think it's a really powerful message for the Treasure Valley. We want to keep the Treasure Valley from ending up like other Western cities like Seattle, Portland, San Francisco, and we can do that by continuing to invest in prevention. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the work that we have done. We have really had an incredible year at Jesse Tree, and I'm really excited to share with you all that we have accomplished. I'm going to talk a little bit about the housing crisis. We saw a new kind of housing crisis in 2021. Things have gotten really intense this year. And there were a lot of federal efforts to curb eviction, which didn't exactly work, and demand and need for our assistance continued to grow. We were still able to accomplish a lot of different things, and I'll talk about those accomplishments we're really proud of, and also discuss how you can help. So Boise, as many of you know, is now the least affordable housing market in the United States, and we've got a lot of national coverage on this housing market. Rent has increased in Ada County by 40%. And we were able to talk to the Today Show, who came to Boise to learn about how this is affecting the most vulnerable families in our community. We did an internal study on how much rent is really increasing, $100 or $200 each year, which is so difficult for people who are living on the line paycheck to paycheck, which encompasses about 60% of people in Ada County. Boise is not unique to the housing crisis. It's a national problem, and there are 500,000 people living outside across the country. And this problem creates other issues, social and cultural issues that our community faces as well. In line with decrease in affordability, homelessness eventually increases as well. And so we'll continue to see this as a challenge our community faces. The federal government did try to step in this year. You may have heard of the eviction moratorium, which was issued last fall, and it was in place through September 2021. But the moratorium was not enforced in Idaho, and we kind of saw business as usual in court with about 20 hearings a week throughout the Treasure Valley. There were 819 evictions during the eviction moratorium just in Ada and Canyon County. We did, though, see a spike when the moratorium ended. And in the month of September, there were 114 evictions. It was a really intense month for our team, and kind of all hands on deck in eviction court to try to serve as many tenants as we possibly could. So we do think at least some landlords in the Treasure Valley were waiting to evict until the moratorium ended. The federal government also stepped in with unprecedented levels of rental assistance. $200 million went to the state of Idaho, but unfortunately, a lot of that funding did not get to tenants who really needed it, and we continue to see our numbers climb. You can just see from our phone line volume and the number of emergency rental assistance and security deposit assistance applications we received really started to climb in early this year, right when that other rental assistance funding was released. Our team has continued to field about 3,000 calls and texts a month and receive over 300 applications a month. We've received more applications in the last few months than we have in our 20-year history. Eviction court, as I mentioned, was business as usual as well, with about 20 to 40 cases a month throughout the Treasure Valley, and you can see that spike that occurred when the moratorium was lifted in September. We also unfortunately saw many people continue to become homeless. We saw at least 2,400 people as of September, so around 3,000 people who were entering our shelters. And we know that 70% of those people are folks that are becoming homeless for the very first time in their lives. And once folks become homeless, they're much more likely to end up in that situation again. So continue to see really alarming numbers. So our role in this year was in an unprecedented housing crisis with unprecedented federal protections and resources. We still saw unlimited demand and need. So we just did what we do best. We filled the gap and we caught people falling through the cracks. We were nimble. We used our funds to pay back rent, and we worked with our federal funding partners to leverage funds to pay rent going forward for families if they needed a little bit more time. And we continue to use our private funding for people that are not eligible for or cannot access the federal assistance. About half of people who apply for that assistance are denied help. We also refer eligible families who we do not have the capacity to help to other resources. We can still only help about 25 to 30% of people who are calling us with case management and rental assistance. And so we're trying to work through a list, actually, as of today, a list of 332 families who we cannot help, and we're trying to connect them to other resources. Looking forward, and this month, we will really need your support. Much of our government funding is going to expire next year, and we're going to need to replace that with private funding. And more demand will fall to our organization, more need, and we're going to need you, the community, to continue to step up and help us as you have in the past, and as you are this year. So those are our challenges. It was really an interesting year to be in this field for all of our staff, dealing with COVID on top of the housing crisis, on top of all of these other really unique situations around homeless prevention. But we did accomplish a lot. So we were able to serve more families than ever before. This year, we have doubled the number of families that we helped, and we will triple the number of families that we have served directly in eviction court compared to last year. You can see all of the data around our programs on our website, and the link is available right there. This was only made possible by your support. We are able to spend and expend about $1.6 million in rental assistance so far this year. And about 30 to 40% of that each month is coming from private industry, mostly from individuals, and some of that from foundations and corporations. So we are really depending on the private community beyond government support to reach these numbers. Compared to last year, we're able to do a lot more for families. We continue to offer more than just a check. So every rental assistance check is coming with a case manager, a human behind the check who is supporting the family through the crisis, providing landlord mediation, connecting them to resources that they need, helping them with their budget, and making sure they're stable in the long term. And we still have a 95% success rate, even in this really unaffordable market, meaning 95% of the families we've helped over the last few years are still in housing. We continue to grow our team to help this year. We were able to fund 5 new positions with a temporary government grant. Morgan, Ami, Aaron, you see here, Henry, and Katie. 4 case managers and a programs coordinator to help answer the 3,000 calls that we field a month. And each of these case managers is able to help about 20 to 30 families a month with case management and rent assistance. We also continue to meet people where they are this year. We did dozens of pop-up events where we signed people up for rental assistance. And these are people that probably would not have otherwise known about our resources and may have very well ended up in court or the shelter if we weren't there. Went to food banks, libraries, agencies across the Treasure Valley. And we do this in eviction court too. We are partnering with University of Idaho Law School, and our interns and staff are affirmatively reaching out to all tenants that have cases coming up. And we're showing up in court every single day, working really closely with Ada County and Canyon County courts to get them to pull us into cases and intervene. We've got almost 90 cases dismissed in court this year so far, which you think about the impacts of that for families that have been able to avoid that eviction on their record, it's really amazing. Also helping lead unprecedented partnerships. We worked with Idaho Legal Aid to receive a grant to fund legal services just for eviction across the state of Idaho. And we'll be closely partnering with an attorney that's serving Ada and Canyon counties to couple tenants with financial, social, and legal support in court to really provide them with holistic care during an eviction. We also work closely with Our Path Home, a public-private partnership that's working to end homelessness. And we're part of a campaign to end family homelessness by 2025. And we're the lead prevention agency in that campaign. We feel really hopeful that we have the plans in place that we need to end homelessness within the next 5 years. We also continue to innovate thanks to your support. You'll hear from one of our funders, the Idaho Women's and Charitable Foundation, who funded a new security deposit assistance program for us and helped us get seed funding for that. We heard that many people going to shelter were ending up in that situation because they had needed to move and didn't have enough money for a security deposit. And we stepped in to fill the gap. There was no other resource for those families. And we've been able to serve 85 families this year so far with security deposit, just since we started this program in April. And we continue to educate and learn from the community. We held a landlord focus group where we talked to a group of landlords about the challenges that they were facing and how we could work more closely with them to connect tenants to resources and services. We did community events. We worked across the community to educate how folks could get involved and help solve the housing crisis. So how you can help, always tell people to think of creative ways that can increase our housing stock by opening up a bedroom in your home, building an ADU in your backyard, or building on land that you may have. We hope that everyone here will encourage housing development and advocate for good housing policy at the state, city, and county levels. You could educate your friends, your neighbors, your coworkers about available resources, including Jesse Tree, and the link to apply to our program is on this slide. And you can also volunteer or donate. We really depend on volunteers to field our 3,000 calls a month. Volunteers have served over 3,000 hours on our phone so far, managed by our team members, Ami and Cassandra. And if you'd like to volunteer, you can sign up on our website. And you can certainly donate. Any donation that you provide throughout our Avenues for Hope campaign, which runs from today through December 31st, will go to support more tenants who need help. $100 can provide supportive services for one person and one family that's being evicted. $500 can keep one person housed, and $1,500 can keep a family housed. That's compared to $5,000 to $10,000 to rehome a family once they have lost their housing. So we certainly hope you'll invest in us, and you can do so by going to our website today or throughout this campaign through the 31st. Thank you. We hope you will continue to help us make Boise different and chart a new path to prevent homelessness from happening to our community. In the first place, we will continue to need your help in the new year. And just thank you so much for being a part of this so far. You all have been really great support, and we would not have been able to accomplish any of these things without you.
Well, Allie, while you were busy giving your presentation, we actually got a little activity on the auction. So I want to give a little update. We did get a $65 bid on the Merriweather Cider gift basket and multiple bids coming in for the Grand Teton Brewing gift basket. So I think the happy hour theme is going really well tonight. We like the beer, we like the cider, both local. Love to see that. And remember, this auction is going to be running through the end of the year. So you will still have time to bid after the show tonight, and make sure you keep an eye on those items that you are most excited about.
I'm personally really excited about the sunglasses and the weekend in Garden Valley. So I may go off and do this after, now that I'm done with my presentation. Are you going to bid on anything, Karen?
You know, I love the idea of doing this as a gift. You know, we all know somebody who loves local beer or local cider or homemade pies. If you haven't looked on the auction yet, does that not sound amazing? And of course, who would turn down a trip to Garden Valley? I mean, there's something for everyone that you know, and what a great way to, you know, get a gift for a loved one and support a good cause as well. And it looks like, Allie, you're having a great time out there and a beautiful space. And believe it or not, we're actually halfway through our evening tonight. So we're going to take a quick break and hear some more music from guitarist Ned Evans.
This next song is called You Were Right This Time Around. Well, time is just a frame of
Well, thank you again, Ned. That was amazing. And what an interesting instrument. I've never seen anything like that before. And we are seeing some great participation in the auction. We've got a couple of updates for you. We've got a $41 bid on that Downtown Boise Business Association gift card, which you can use at more than 250 different businesses in downtown Boise. So really, you can do whatever you want with it down there. And a couple more bids coming in for the Meriwether Cider gift basket, certainly a popular item. So make sure you head on over to jessitreeidaho.org/auction, and you still have time to get involved and be a part of that. So now we're going to turn our attention over to some of the people closest to Jesse Tree for a few words about what the organization means to them. Of course, we know staff, volunteers, and board members at Jesse Tree have been working so hard this year to serve clients all across the Treasure Valley.
Hello everyone, welcome to Housed for the Holidays. My name is Kira and I am a client of Jesse Tree.
Good evening. My name is Jesus Tarifa and I serve on Jesse Tree's advisory board.
Hi, I'm Lisa Reed, a member of the Idaho Women's Charitable Foundation.
Hi, my name is Debbie. Welcome everyone to House for Holidays.
My name is Linda and I'm a volunteer for Jesse Tree, and I've been volunteering since March of 2020.
Hi, my name is Natalie Sandoval. I'm a board member of Jesse Tree, but I'm also the McKinney-Vento Homeless Education Liaison for the Nampa School District.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Morgan, and I'm a case manager and the lead for mediation and eviction court here at Jesse Tree.
Two big reasons why I joined the advisory board. I am a mortgage loan officer, and throughout the last few years, I've experienced and witnessed the tremendous growth we've seen in real estate here in Idaho. And on the flip side of that, there's also been a lot of people that have suffered from that growth. And for me, there was the moral imperative of doing something to help the folks that have been affected by a lot of the negative side effects of this growth. And that is how I came about volunteering with Jesse Tree.
Every day I sit across from families who are experiencing homelessness for the first time. Many of those families have lost their housing due to circumstances out of their control. Maybe the home was sold, maybe they had a medical issue and had a reduction in hours and they were unable to keep up with rent, or maybe their rent was raised and their wages weren't, and so they were unable to absorb that rental increase. When families are dehoused or lose their housing, it is absolutely traumatic. I hear from parents every day that feel as though they are failing their children. I see children that are struggling to understand why they don't have a bedroom anymore and why all their belongings are now in storage. So it is a very traumatic thing. And if we can work to prevent those evictions from happening or prevent families from dehoused, that is absolutely what we want to do.
Our organization is all about community members combining our giving, combining our knowledge for a greater positive impact in the community. One of our key giving areas is financial stability for everyone. When we looked at Jesse Tree's application for the Security Deposit Assistance Program, we were very excited to partner with them to help address the homeless issue by providing security deposit assistance so that families hopefully never become homeless, or if that security deposit is a barrier for them being able to move into housing, that we could partner with them to help remove that barrier. Through meeting with the Jesse Tree team, we also knew that they were the perfect organization to make this program happen. We hope you feel the same way and encourage those watching to continue to fund programs such as the Security Deposit Assistance Program, because we have already gone through that funding.
We work with families facing the threat of eviction during various stages in the process, and we work really hard to offer more than just the financial assistance to keep families housed. We offer support. We help families to find resources available in their area so that they can sustain, because we want to see families succeed and we want to see them thrive. Currently, we are facing a housing crisis that affects us all. Boise is listed as the #1 least affordable place to live in the entire United States. COVID employment uncertainty, huge increases in rent, and jumps in the general cost of living are just a few of the problems that have made it challenging for families to afford even the roof over their heads. But luckily, they can turn to Jesse Tree. And we couldn't do this work without the countless volunteers who spend hours manning the Jesse Tree lines, or without the donors who give so that we can do the work we do. So I just want to take a moment to say thank you for giving so graciously so that we can work towards this goal of ending family homelessness.
I volunteer for Jesse Tree because I believe a home is the foundation upon which we build our lives on. And when that foundation is threatened, people are destabilized. When they call Jesse Tree, oftentimes they have exhausted all their resources. In addition to answering the housing line, I also get to do assisted client follow-up calls. It's really heartwarming to hear people who have been helped by Jesse Tree and the fact that their lives are now back on track and more stable. When I ask clients what having a home means, I oftentimes hear it's everything. Jesse Tree provides an invaluable service to our neighbors and community in the Treasure Valley.
It costs a family anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000 once they become homeless for them to find housing again. Whereas it costs Jesse Tree on average about $1,500 to keep a family in their home. So it just makes dollars and cents. And for me, it really has become a great way to give back to my community. I believe that every one of us has the power to influence what kind of community we want to live in.
Not long ago, I was asked why I do the work that I do. And although our individual responses to this question may vary, I think that the theme resonates with us all. We often speak to people on the worst day of their lives or during the worst time of their life. And we see them when the very thing that keeps them together is being threatened. With that comes feelings of fear and inadequacy and uncertainty. During these times, everyone deserves to have someone in their corner, to offer them support and guidance, to advocate, and to comfort them. It's really important to me that I get to be that person. And here at Jesse Tree, that is what we get to do every single day.
You know, I had a family just about 2 years ago that I was working with directly that Jesse Tree was able to help prevent the eviction. This was a family who this was just about 2 weeks before Christmas, was going in front of a judge and was going to be evicted for less than $500 that they owed to the property management company. Jesse Tree staff was able to support that family in going to court with them, advocating to the judge on information that they had and what they were able to help pay to keep that family in housing. And the judge sided with us that day. And so we were excited to keep a family together, keep a family housed, and prevent them from being back into the shelter system. So thank you for your support for Jesse Tree. And we hope that you can continue to help us keep our neighbors housed.
I hope that all of you find it in your heart to believe that you can make a change, a positive impact in your community. And you can start doing so by helping keep our families and our neighbors housed. Happy holidays.
What I love about Jesse Tree is that we're a team. We're all on the same page, working towards the same goal. And we're yes people. We're how can we make this work people? And how can we help you to thrive people? At Jesse Tree, we band together to serve our families and our community with a common thread in mind. We're all human. With that comes the understanding that we all deserve respect, dignity, compassion, and decency. We're all human, and we all deserve a place to call home. So thank you so much for coming tonight, and happy holidays to you all.
When I first contacted Jesse Tree, I was struggling. I was behind on rent about 3 months. I had to choose between paying my rent or fighting for my daughter because my ex-husband had filed for custody. So I was fighting for custody of my daughter.
I'm a licensed social worker, and I did have to quit work to take care of my husband. And I certainly did not think that my life was going to be like this at 62 years old.
I contacted Jesse Tree for help, and they got back to me and found out that I was in the process of, my landlord was in the process of evicting me. They had already filed for eviction with the lawyer, and Jesse Tree worked diligently. I worked with Kendall specifically, and they did everything that they could to make sure that we still had a roof over our heads, especially in winter and Christmas and holidays and things like that. They worked really hard with my landlord to make sure that we got our rent paid. Not only did they pay for the 3 months that I was behind, they also paid an additional month for me to give us a cushion so we could catch up and be able to afford Christmas for our children.
So, again, I want to thank them. And I don't know how else to thank them. I wish there was a way that I could let them know how thankful I am for them. And Jesse Tree, you're very lucky to have Kendall Johnson as a case manager, because she is dynamite. Having been a case manager myself for Adult Protective Services, I can tell you she has got what it takes.
Knowing that they had filed for eviction and Jesse Tree stopped that from happening was a huge relief for both myself and my boyfriend and our children. Our children can have a home to come home to. We have a warm place, a bed, a roof over our heads in the winter, Christmas. We are just so grateful to Jesse Tree for everything they have done to help.
Jesse Tree, I can't thank them enough. I can't thank Kendall Johnson enough for the help. Paying that amount of late fees for me for the month of October, and the rent for October and November and December. I wouldn't have had a Christmas without Jesse Tree's help.
What having a home means to me is stability, comfort, loving, just important. It's important to have a home. You can't think without having a home. You can't be a parent without having a home. And they helped provide that for us, and we are forever eternally grateful.
Oh, that was incredible to hear firsthand from the people that Jesse Tree is helping. We see your live comments coming in, a little emotional for some folks out there, but it is just that important and that impactful. So a huge thank you to the Jesse Tree team for all you've done this year, and to the community and the donors watching who allowed that work to happen. It is very clear that the clients you served are so grateful for the assistance that was provided. And if you weren't there to help them, they could be living on the streets. We do have a little bit of an auction update. A few more people getting involved. $100 bid for that brewery beer themed basket. And these bids are going to be updated on the website, jessetreeidaho.org/auction after the event ends tonight, and you will still have time to participate. So it's been an awesome night. We are nearing the end of our time this evening, and we do want to make sure that you have that chance to bid on those items. There are art-themed items, again, gift cards to Downtown Boise Association restaurants and shops, and all kinds of perfect gift items for those that you love, and it's all local here, so a great way to support all around. Now, you will have, again, until the end of the year to bid on those auction items, and from now until December 30th to donate during Jesse Tree's Avenues for Hope campaign. So again, thank you so much, everyone, for participating in our second annual House for the Holidays virtual event. We have had an incredible evening. We hope you have as well. And it is because of people like you that Jesse Tree is able to keep so many of our neighbors housed. A special thank you also to Columbia Bank and Jesse Tree's matching sponsors during Avenues for Hope. That includes Boise Cascade, Boise Centennial Rotary, Idaho Mortgage Lenders Association, Mid-Century Homes, Boise Unitarian Church, Idaho Power, St. Alphonsus, and Boise Regional Realtors, as well as all of you here who chose to donate to Jesse Tree and keep our neighbors housed. And a very special thank you to the students of our neighbors One Stone School for preparing a very special performance to end our evening. So thank you again for coming to celebrate the success of 2021 and for your continued support. Good night, everyone.
I'm Mac.
I'm Gracie.
And we're in Ripple Studios at One Stone.
Happy holidays from us to you. Thank you so much for joining us. This is Silent Night. Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright, round young virgin mother and child, holy infant, so tender and mild, sleep in heavenly peace, sleep in heavenly peace. Silent night, holy night, shepherds quake at the sight, glory streams from heaven afar, heavenly hosts sing hallelujah. Christ the Savior is born. Christ the Savior is born. Silent night, holy night, Son of God, love's pure light, radiant beams from the holy face.